Okay.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
How was your week, Nosa?
I was working a lot this week, so
You've been working a lot since your fight,
yeah.
grinding. I miss you. I don't even get to fucking see you anymore.
Well, I think that camp took a lot out of work, so I had to get back to a lot of stuff. Plus, the bills got to get paid.
Yes,
you
they
know?
do.
That's one of the things about being an adult. You got all this responsibility that you got to handle while you chase the dream. So we're trying to make it work over here. Yeah.
Respect. I'm in the same boat.
Always.
So we're gonna fucking kick off episode number 8.
Number 8.
So
4 and 4.
damn, it's crazy. It's cool.
Yeah.
I was looking at the YouTube channel the other day, like seeing the spread now. We're building up a little portfolio here.
We're progressing.
We got some sick ass episodes coming up with some sick ass guests. I'm excited for those. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. And I like my hat.
I like it too. All right, when you got that shit.
But no,
Rockville.
Yeah, it was Rockville. Yep,
Rockville.
one of the souvenirs from Rockville.
Yeah.
It was raining actually.
That shit was cool as fuck. I got a couple pictures of you in the rain.
It was raining and I decided I needed a cover. I hate an umbrella. I don't know. People carry that stuff around. I just hate it. I'd rather just drench in the rain and carry that stuff
I
around.
don't know anybody who carries an umbrella.
Well, some people do. So I decided that a hat would be better, and I ended up with a samurai hat, which I like. It's goofy, funny, at the same time. It's cultural. So, hey, here we are. We do everything at the same time. Goofy, funny, and being cultural. That's what this podcast is about. And all the other shit that matters. Welcome to the Punch Drunk Podcast. And it's my host over here who usually introduces the podcast, but I'm doing it today, Taylor McMahon. And I'm the co-host, Nosa Hari Idemudia.
Fuck it, man. We just both the hosts. We're going to create our own shit. We both the hosts, all right?
Okay, all right.
Shout out to our awesome fucking producer,
Juice. The original.
From PC Together. He's the
one and
man.
only.
Always taking care of us.
Oh, yeah. That's our boy.
This episode, we're going to dive in. Actually, before I get into that, let's give a shout out to our sponsors of this episode. We got some new sponsors for this episode. So my guy David over at TRN and Print Nate Easy. I'm going to throw the logos up on the screen. They're the guys, they hooked me up with all my fight shirts, and they do not just fight shirts, obviously, all kinds of apparel. They design shirts, design hats, all that good stuff. And TRN, what that is one of their movements. They're a fitness brand that they have. And it basically just stands for like train right now, work today, stop putting it off, get after it. It's when you say you're going to start doing something, start fucking doing it. It's simple as that. Stop fucking talking about it. Stop sitting around on your ass and get some shit done.
Brandon says stop negotiating with
that
terrorists.
With that bitch inside you. That's what he told me.
That's how he says it. That's exactly how he says it. That little bitch in your head. Tell that bitch to shut up and get to it, get to work.
So yeah, shout out to TRN and Print It Easy. Thank you so much. So let's dive in on the fucking man of the hour. Okay, the man of the weekend, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Oh my God, he just launched his career into a whole nother atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
After last night's performance, he TKO'd Aljamain Sterling. I've been a big supporter of Sean for a long time. I really fuck with his style, and I think that he's very, very underrated. He's got a big fan base, but I think a lot of the people that aren't really so much Sugar fans, they don't think he's that good and understand how good he really is at all aspects of the game. But
yeah, I think that comes up because of his personality, I'd say, because Sean is just a fun guy. And, typically because it's a violent sport, people tend to sometimes take the goofy people unserious, but for instance, look at Israel Adesanya. Just because of his little anime stuff he has going on, some people would try to disrespect him, but dude is one of the most dangerous men on the planet. So
yeah,
I think that's why they would typically take Sean unserious and underestimate him. But if it's there, it's there, and he proved that last night. So there's no denying the man his glory anymore. If you're doubting out there, you're just hating at this point.
That was one of my. I was like, I haven't in a long, probably period, since I started watching UFC. I've never rooted for somebody so much. in one fight. Like I've never just like really hoped this one guy would win. Like usually I'm just a fan of the sport. You know, I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to do great, make tons of fucking money, and live a happily ever after life from fighting. But
Find peace.
yeah, exactly. But Sugar, man, I really fuck with like his vibe. I like fuck with his persona. I really like how he's really raw, is who he is, says who he is, and acts no differently. He's just a cool ass dude, having fun, doing what he loves, and creating jokes and comedy out of it. I love it, and he's just somebody who really is just themselves. They have no problem projecting themselves how they are. That's why I really didn't really like Aljo that much, honestly. Like I feel like he just was too corny, tried too hard.
Yeah.
Not really himself. Like you just be your fucking self, and if people love you, they're gonna love you for who you are. So
Yeah, Aljo was a little dry, but I mean, to each their own. But he doesn't give me the factor that I find in O'Malley. Because for someone to find fun find humor in such a violent sport and make a whole personality out of it, it's pretty unique, and I like to see where this takes him. Was Conor like a fun guy, or Conor was just
Connor's shit talk was just funny, right? The shit talk era, right? Yeah, I mean, and obviously Chael Sonnen was a part of that and started that way before Conor came along. But
Chad is the
Chael Sonnen.
Chael Sonnen is still the goat of trash talk.
Yeah,
he should be, because even when he loses, the way he handles it is so crazy.
He's funny ass dude. But
Yeah,
Connor's on a whole nother level, and people are trying to compare people. Everybody's trying to compare somebody to Conor. You know, you compare yourself to Conor. That's what they do with Sean. That's what they were all doing, all saying that, and like.
He's a new Conor.
You can't be that. You can't. Well, yeah, but you can't do that. Like you can't. One person's one person, and that's who they are. And that's their. You can't fake that. Like Sean's not like that. Sean's got trash talk, but Sean's not. Sean is just a more just like different version.
Stoic.
Yeah, Conor's very like what's the word I would put it? Like just he has a different. They have different swaggers. They have both different, complete different swagger.
I think O'Malley's more stoic.
Yeah, Malley's like real, like chill and just funny. And
Conor is show off.
It makes comedy. Conor's like real, just like he's got just good ass lines to say, like good lines, just great lines.
And he works well with his accent, so
yeah. That's what makes it what it is. Is his fucking accent.
Yeah, the fucking guy.
The fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Love that guy. Man.
Yeah, so O'Malley's the man of the moment, and well, I'd say something though. That was even Joe Rogan said it, the most beautiful right hand counter we've seen in a while. So
very flawless fight. Went a whole round with Aljo not really doing it. Like nothing happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, hats off to Sean, man. I love fucking Sean O'Malley. You know, that is the guy. I don't know how you couldn't be a fan of Sean. You know, I don't know how you can't watch the sport and be like, I'm not a fan of that guy. He's awesome. He's fucking awesome. So
yeah. The UFC has come a long way. Over the next couple of months, the fights that are set to happen too. It's just heat back to back. This year has been crazy. I'll tell you though, the tremendous growth, the amount of superstars we have on the roster now.
The styles changing.
Yes.
We got the most striking champions ever.
Yes. It almost seems like the wrestlers are getting nullified a little bit more now. Like most strikers just they go deep into their takedown defenses and just know how to get back on their feet and stand there. So that's been tremendous. Israel Desai and Pereira was this year also, right?
Yep.
It's been a crazy year.
Yeah, that's another one I called too. Yeah, also I want to say that I'm going to start I'm a big sports bettor, Nos is not, but I'm going to start throwing the picks out there for UFC up on the page, you know, just because, I mean, hey, bro, if a lot of people are into MMA, love to bet on it. And I went pretty good this weekend, and usually I call them pretty well. So I'm going to start throwing those out there for you guys.
Hey, all the bettors out there, get with my boy Taylor. Yeah, I'm not. So the thing is, I gambled a lot when I did about 2 years in college back at home in Nigeria. So after I was done with that, I'm like, no more, because gambling is I have a very addictive personality into it. So when I start winning money,
It's addicting as fuck.
every week I want to go into it. So I just wanted to save my head the headache of thinking about if this guy's gonna lose or not, and just enjoy the sports. But some of y'all do like to make money, so get with it.
I'll tell you what it was for me. It was I don't have an addictive personality towards pretty much anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I do for training and things I love, but you're like shit like that. I actually fell in love with sports betting because it made me fall in love with sports again, like watching sports. So like I used to not really give a fuck. Like growing up, I didn't give a fuck about watching football or baseball and shit like that. And I wanted to. Like I used to always be like pretty jealous of my friends and peers who like really into it, knew everything, knew every stat line, knew about every player, you know. And like when I started sport betting, it actually made me get interest in all different kinds of sports again, and watching them. And now I actually care. Like when I'm watching the sport, I'm like, I actually care about who wins this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're emotionally
I got something into it.
Yeah.
So it makes it fun for me. And I try obviously like to keep it smart. I don't do anything fucking crazy. I just do it for fun, and it makes me enjoy the sport more. And if I lose, I lose. But hey.
Guess who's coming back soon? JSP. What is JSP actually doing? Is it a grappling match?
Is he? I didn't even know that. I guess so. I saw stuff about him all over fucking social media.
Yeah,
but
he's coming back in I think towards the end of the year. So I don't know what they're really on.
I saw something about him boxing too. Maybe boxing one of the fucking, I don't know. We got all these bullshit ass boxing matches going on now with clout versus clout, trying to get some fucking money. So I get it, get fucking paid, but it's just a lot to keep up with.
The art, and to be honest, I think boxing is so far away from what it used to be. I mean, it's about the athlete making money. I know, I get it, but I think the art is just being taken away so much out of the context, because nobody's focused on that anymore. Everybody's concerned about who's the biggest superstar, how much they stand to make, and the clout. I mean, the trash talking is the most important part now, apart from the boxing, and the cross trainers who from MMA wants to box the guys who are on YouTube, and the YouTubers want to box the guy who is an actual boxer, but pick the guy from the lowest rank. And it's all just a bunch of mixture now on who gets paid the most. So I'm just trying to see where the art is at. Because when I watch like old boxing, like Muhammad Ali,
did you watch the Terrence Crawford fight?
Yes, Terrence Crawford.
No, that was some fucking boxing.
Yes, exactly. That's the type of stuff I like to see. And Terrence Crawford, fortunately enough, is not really it's not a talker kind of guy. He doesn't come off like that. A guy who just like talks trash all day. Dude just talks about how, if I get in there, this is what I'm gonna do. He seems like a very straightforward, serious dude. So those are how we used to envision boxers. Like they were all just monsters who were just like so honing on the craft, like Mike Tyson, Jones Jr., all of them, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was a trash talker, but you couldn't deny the fact that the man, he's a fucking beast, and he put in all seriousness into the craft. It's always about the craft. We want to see boxers box and do what we love to see boxers do. Not this guy get in there and just because he has some big name, but he's such a person who hasn't really done the work, and then we see some sloppy stuff from him, and you expected much from a professional. So hey, but I guess we're here now. Canelo, on the other hand, still doing great even after many years. I like.
He's my
vets.
favorite.
Yeah, most of the vets are still there. So unfortunately, like people like Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao, they all retired. So it's like the new generation. I'm trying to see who we could actually see being that guy, because it's a difference now. Everybody's getting paid, so it's not really about the superstardom anymore. So
Tank Davis, that boy holding it down. Gervonta
Davis.
Yeah, he holding it down. I mean, there's a couple holding it down in the boxing world, but
who's that guy of this world?
It's just MMA's taking over, man. MMA's taking over. That's what everybody wants to see, and I understand why. So it's my sport. It's a sick sport. So
it is.
But it is good for both sides, you know. And the MMA guys get to go over there and get a nice little payday. But speaking of that, did you watch the Jake Paul Nate Diaz fight?
No, to be honest, I'll keep it G. I'm not really interested in anything Jake Paul really throws out there, but I guess it's just something to see. I kind of want to be surprised sometimes. That's the only reason I'll go look at it, but I've never seen the highlights or anything about that because I just wasn't interested in it, to be honest.
It doesn't even surprise you either. Like, you know how it's going to go. I bet on that fight. I knew that it was going to go to a decision. Jake Paul's going to win a decision. Like, And that's exactly what happened. That's the thing with boxing is just like it's almost set up, and it's a very corrupt fucking sport too. That's another topic and dark side. Like everybody who knows boxing knows that boxing is extremely corrupt.
Yeah.
But it's cool for the fans, and it was cool for Nate Diaz to get that payday as he deserves. Now like a guy who like that, who's like in my opinion should be a UFC Hall of Famer, and he's done
so much for the sport.
He's done so much in the sport and for the sport. Been in it for so long. Him and his brother have done so much. So
yeah, the Diaz
he deserved
brothers,
that.
Yeah. Fucking maniacs.
It was like just a clown fight.
Yeah.
That's all it was. I mean, like Jake was trying his best, and Nate was kind of just doing antics, and exactly how I figured it was gonna be. Did some good shit. They both did good shit, but yeah, it was just for fun.
Okay.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
Nate was literally not taking it serious at all the whole time.
I mean, dude is there for his paycheck. To be honest, that's what I would do too. So, do we talk about the fact that from what we used to know, how would we say MMA has evolved over the years, and what would we say the future is looking like? What would your take be on that?
I'll say I was actually going to talk about this a minute ago when we were talking about Sean, but the evolution of MMA right now is like, so it started off like back then it was like, oh, who's the fucking tough guy, the guy who's like the scariest, the most intimidating, you know what I mean? And now it's like we're getting in the era of like comedy. So like it's the funny guys that had the most clout, and like the guys who do off the wall geek shit. Those are the guys who are getting the more notoriety in that sense. But the sense of MMA when it comes to like a skill set, it's evolving like a motherfucker. Now we got kids and training out the fucking wound, coming into the UFC at 18, 19, 20 years old who are absolute phenoms, and the sport's evolving, it's growing, so everybody everywhere trains now. The competition pool is getting bigger, so it's definitely going to be an awesome era in the sport for like the skill set side of things. Like everybody's going to be extremely good. You're not going to have any more slouches, or it's going to be a very tough competition pool. It's going to be a lot harder for amateurs to come up. Just like baseball and football and shit like that, like sports in America where that are just super overdrowned. Like, that one few percent barely make it. And even no matter how good you are, like MMA is kind of different in the aspect of like, if you just train for a long time, you're going to get good enough to be in the UFC.
Yeah.
But eventually it's now where it's getting so populated and everybody's doing it. You're going to have all the elitist level of athletes doing it, and you got to be able to compete with those guys. So it's definitely going to be a wild next few years for the UFC and for MMA and
combat sport in general.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you see these days, the population of people training mixed martial arts is gradually increasing. Everybody's getting interested in it one way or the other. Jiu-jitsu is a big thing. It has its own community as a whole, and it's pretty big. Really huge. They have their own little thing going on. So the surprising thing is, I think the percentage of people who would actually know martial art, somehow just a regular person walking down the street, would increase over time, which is great. I mean,
it already has a fuck ton.
Exactly.
Everybody does jiu-jitsu or kickboxing now.
The gay sport where two men just hug each other for a long time.
Yeah, the sport you fucking love.
I love jiu-jitsu. I love hugging other men, I guess. So they call it the gay sport because what other sport makes you hug yourselves and just sweat apart from wrestling? All grappling sport is basically tagged the gay sport. We love it anyway. We love it over here.
All the fucking wrestlers and the grapplers are going to be fucking coming at us. Coming at us.
Yep, don't pull guard.
Put the guards on in the 16s. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's what a real man does.
So, yeah, I think the population of people doing martial art now has increased, so don't be out here in the street thinking because you could punch and kick that the other guy can get fucked up instantly. So, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen over time. And the sport is becoming something, not just like MMA, the whole combat sport, it's becoming more entertaining rather than just the whole stoic martial arts. So I guess it's kind of infusing different personalities into it. So it's a be yourself thing and understanding that you could still be a martial art with whatever you got going on. So because usually martial art is, I think, from the time where we had like the Van Damme era, like the big actors, it's always seen as this Japanese setting where you have to be really like stoic, but you have crazy people just being in the UFC and they batshit crazy like Strickland.
Bad shit, fucking crazy.
Strickland,
I love that shit though. That's I love people like that.
I like him. I mean, he's being himself. He's very, the fact that he's very open.
He's honest. He's honest. Like, you know how hard it is for a lot of people to be fucking honest these days, like with who they are.
Yeah.
Everybody's jumping on a bandwagon, hating on this, hating on that. Like,
Yeah, he's like
he's who he is.
look,
Says who he is. And
I'm
acts
just
exactly who he is.
I'm a shithead who is just in the UFC, and if I wasn't in the UFC, I'll be a shithead anyway. So it's one of those things where I like, okay, yeah, I like this guy. Yeah,
I love when he was like, he said, dude, you gotta see his episode on Joe Rogan's podcast. That shit's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
He said, I knew he's a fucking racist because I used to fucking be one,
Yep.
or something like that.
Strickland is he comes as a white crackhead.
He likes to just.
We got to check if crack is allowed in the UFC because I know Strickland sounds like he smoked some of them. Yeah. So yeah, the sports that involve everybody could be included now. So I like it. I like where it's going. I think the fact that it's more popular, so kids have an alternative, which is really great. I mean, America used to just be about football, baseball, and the other little stuff here and there. But MMA is starting to be a big thing. So you have parents actually looking forward to their kids being an MMA superstar one day, which is good. We all need options and need things to look forward to. I think stereotypically looking at sports from one angle with the whole field track, and we have something else that it's so different from it. I mean, the only thing closest to the MMA would be the WWE, but this is real fighting, and it takes a lot of skill set to be that. Like with the WWE, we had some guys who they weren't really all that skilled, but they were good looking, so that just sold them out. But this one is, I don't care how good looking you are. If you get fucked up in there a couple of times, people don't be like, "Hey, it's a waste of time." It's not about looks, so
It's a real
I like
battle of the
It's a real
fittest.
one. I like it. Modern day gladiators. That's how Taylor puts it all the time.
Yeah, modern day gladiators, man.
Yep.
Get in a coliseum and see who the fuck lives and dies.
Yep. Basically, the only difference is I think back then when the Romans fought, it was to the death, and this is kind of to the death. But
Guys take it to the death. Like that's
Yeah.
how they take it. Like
you're in there to kill him.
Yeah, you're in there to die.
Because he's
so.
trying to kill you too. So I think
Yeah.
the ref. That's where the ref comes in to just step in and control it and make sure the guy doesn't die. He's trying to keep it safe as possible. So yeah, I think that the MMA is gonna go a long way over time. I think it's gonna surpass a lot of other sports. From the way it's going, it's really good because it has so much tremendous growth, and I'm talking money now over the last couple of years. Just the past 5 years, it's been really crazy, dude. The amount of revenue they've generated.
Yeah, it's in America especially now, but it's also that it's worldwide sport. Like everybody plays it, or everybody does it, and everybody competes against each other, all the countries, and
And it's not just the UFC. Also, the different other promotions
yeah, exactly.
that have a lot of fan bases. Also, there's the one over there in Asia. It's a big time there. It's almost looking like it's the only one that's gonna go par to par with the UFC over time, because they have more.
Bellator's having its last one coming up.
Yeah, it's about to
Bellator
sell out.
300.
Nobody pays attention to them anymore. I think that's what.
Yeah,
what
it's
the case is,
just
yeah.
dying off. UFC's fucking been top dog.
PFL is still.
But PFL's like more of upcoming pros, like guys that are about to go to the UFC.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll probably fight PFL like in the next year or two.
Oh, okay. PFL is where you you show the UFC what you got.
No, I mean, it's not to show you the UFC what you got, but it's just like tiers and ranks all the way up. Like, you know, if you're fighting on the PFL, that means you're probably like, if you're like young guy on the PFL, you're probably about to you're trying to make your way to the UFC. You probably got like another year or two, and then you'll be up there.
Okay, it's like college football to
Yeah, just like the minor
big
leagues,
league.
kind of like minors. You're still a pro,
Okay.
but you're just like on that. You're not really quite there at that.
But would you say the
world class
PFL pretty
class
much-
level?
Would you say a PFL pretty much has a strong base where it's not gonna be like Bellator that's gonna die out?
Yeah, I don't think so. They're not going to be as popular as Bellator, because Bellator really was like hitting off when the UFC was hitting off. So it was like a competition, and they were competing against each other, trying to be the big dogs. PFL is more, like I said, like a minor league. So, like I think it'll always be active in the sense of having fights, good fights, and like a good little show, good little promotion, because all the up and coming guys who aren't in the UFC need somewhere to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only so many people can make it to the
UFC. Yeah. Okay, and Sean O'Malley, is it bantamweight?
bantamweight. Yep.
New bantamweight of the world.
I'm excited to see what this legacy is about to be created by him. See where he goes. See what he does next. see if he goes up in weight, does the double champ shit. He said he already called out Gervonta Davis, said he wants to box Gervonta, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. That's what I'll say. So 2023 been a pretty tough year. We're here. We're already halfway past it. So a lot of things has happened this year. Hawaii burnt down. I mean, some parts of
Aliens.
Hawaii, aliens was revealed that we actually have contact with them. So we don't know what we're doing yet. I mean, obviously, the people who told us that they have contact with them know what they're doing, but we don't know what we're doing yet. We don't know how that affects us. COVID, for some reason, just
The after effects
just
of
went
COVID.
away. The disease itself, for some reason, nobody talks about it anymore. It's not a scare anymore. So my thing is, what happened? I kind of like question myself sometimes. The only time I'm reminded of it is when I see a guy with a face
Still
mask.
wearing a fucking mask, man.
Still wearing a face
Still
mask.
wearing a mask. Look, dude.
Rolled up in his car, missing out on this fresh air out here.
Look. If you are
Hey.
still wearing a fucking mask while being, especially the people in their car with the windows up and the doors closed, that blows my fucking mind. But like, still, like, look, dude. If you're wearing a mask, I honestly believe that you're probably brainwashed by social media and the internet.
Yeah.
That's almost at the point I'm believed by now, because it's like, dude, how at all do you not see everybody else in society living a certain way, and you're gonna get tons of hate for this shit because fucking, all these people who are like, oh, I'm elderly, or I'm a potential of risk and all this bullshit. But it's like, bro, the numbers don't fucking lie. The numbers don't lie. Nothing has changed. There's not an increase. If anything, there's more of an increase of death from fucking vaccinations. And I'm not even going to dive in on that topic of vaccinations because I don't want to offend anybody. But
Yeah, I'm very on the fence with that. I mean, it's safe to say with the vaccination and not, because it's the thing. If we go further in it, you find out that, I mean, to be honest, just injecting things into our system is already weird itself.
enforcing it.
That's a
we've
different
never
kind-
done
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Ever. There's never been a sickness where you're like, you have to get this. Nobody's ever been required to get a flu shot. The flu still kills more people a year than COVID ever did. And they're over here. Nobody's like, oh, you got to get a flu shot. I haven't had a flu shot in like 10 years, bro.
Yeah, I usually avoid them. I mean, because I'm from Africa, so the way we handle flu is kind of different where I'm from.
You
Yeah.
get sick and you fucking eat some fucking magical fucking herbs and
Yep.
feel better.
Make some tea with oranges and green tea oranges. You got ginger in there. Got my grandma would actually take pineapple and the back of it. Have to put like that bark where you have the skin. Put it in there. It's a bunch of stuff she packs in there, and then he makes you drink the tea afterwards. I'm telling you, by the time you pee in the morning, I don't know what that flu is, but it goes away with it. So you can't stay in the body after drinking all that concoction.
Natural remedies.
So yeah, basically, there's a natural way to do things always, because everything synthetic is made from natural. So it's a natural way to do things. I think rather than force people to just buy the whole big pharma idea, we should also know that there's alternatives and give people the option to explore the alternative. That's always been my point. When something is being forced, people are always going to raise an eyebrow on it. Nobody should be forced to do anything, especially in a country that preaches a whole thing about freedom of speech and freedom of expression. I think people should be allowed to explore what alternative they feel is great for their body, their system, and not be called out for it. Because if someone comes in and tell you, oh, I drank tea and I did this and I did that and my COVID was gone, you shouldn't tell that person to shut up, that they don't know what they're doing because they're not a doctor. You should be reminded that, for instance, the doctors that you're trusting, if I were to call them out, if you go check the number one highest killers of people in the United States or the world in general, it's usually, I think, medical mistakes is up there with the first five. Like the mistakes that doctors and the professionals that we trust make medically that cause us harm is on the high side as well.
Doctors
So,
also do what they're told.
exactly. So,
Like everybody else in this fucking world that is high up and in control of the dark side of the world. You fucking whatever you're told, guess what? You better fucking do it. And there is doctors that have stood out against fucking COVID
But
and the vaccines.
nobody wanted to hear them.
Nobody wants to hear it because you know why? Because the media ain't gonna pump it out, and the media don't want to hear it, and the big heads of all these companies that make money off this shit don't want it out there. So, and that's what really runs the world, not fucking the government, not fucking kings and queens and all this other bullshit. You know what runs the world is money. That's what runs the goddamn world. So, and if you the most
power, money. There are people who have a lot of it and they want to have a say. A big pharma, for instance. I don't know. Like, we have to really take a step back and look at how much power big pharma has. For instance, I'm calling them out, to be honest, because they tell you, for instance, they put on the TV that you should take this drug, and then you should, when they list out the amount of side effects the drug that's supposed to cure a disease has, like, oh my God. Like, how do I take this with the risk that this might suddenly happen to me? For instance, there are drugs that they put out there. There was a guy they caught one time. He put out a drug out there, and he knew the drug was bad for people, but he was ready because he knew if he made so much money from it, the lawsuit, he could pay it off. I mean, if you made $1 billion from something, and the lawsuit you have to pay off at the end of the day is like maybe $200 million, you still made profit. So it really doesn't matter. How many people are really going to call you out? Because some people are not even going to file a lawsuit. Some people are not even going to care enough. Some people can't even afford a lawyer. So it's a whole lot of things. So by the time you even pay out lawsuit, let's say you made $1 billion and you pay out $400 million dollars in lawsuit. How much do you have left? You have about $600 million. So are you going to really care, especially when you're a douchebag and you don't care about people anyway? They're just insects to you. So those are like the kind of powers that we put in the hands of the high and mighty. And we should really be cognizant that we, the people, still have the power, but just because we're so divided, we really can't call them out because it's hypocrisy at that point. Like, you're calling out the government, but you're racist, so it's...
That's what the government is trying to do. They're trying to divide us with all this bullshit, man. The race shit, the fucking COVID shit, the fucking transgender shit, all this
all
shit
that stuff
is just pumped out there just to fucking divide us and make us beef with each other over sides because you believe this and you believe that. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. And the fact that y'all feed into it. Bro, I get on Facebook and scroll through like for pure comedic entertainment because of the shit that people be on there arguing about. I'm like, bro, y'all really got no fucking time. Y'all got no life to sit here and argue about the dumbest shit I've ever heard of that does not matter at all. And it's like, dude, like, your opinion means absolutely
everybody's
nothing.
an expert now online.
Yes,
Like,
everybody's a keyboard warrior.
That's the way it seems. Everybody's an expert. Like when during the COVID time where people argued about the vaccine or not, you have people there talking about how science this, science that, science, and then you go to his profile. It's a guy that all he does every day is just take pictures of his food. And he's telling you about science. So that's the world we live in nowadays, where someone he's a mechanic, he's trying to tell you about biology like he actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. And I would say give it a chance. Maybe he reads a lot about it, but coming online to tell the general public, like, that's a really big fact when you haven't done extensive studies on that particular topic. It's kind of mind-boggling to me. That's the same thing with the big people you're trying to argue with. You're all directing people to the wrong place. That, to be honest, it's hypocrisy to me. So that's why I don't argue online, to be honest. I think it's a waste of my time. Like, the social media is not real. Just in case anybody thought it was real out there, I'm here to remind you again. It's not real. Real life is real life, and social media is a world on its own. It's media. It's TV. People create characters, and you follow that character because you like it. That's the whole point. Like, me being on here now with this hat on, that doesn't make me a fucking samurai, but I like the whole samurai culture, and I vibe with it. But this right now is the personality I'm portraying to you, that I like samurai culture. It doesn't make me a samurai, neither does it make me a Japanese. So that's like what social media is all about. People portray things, it doesn't make them that. An actor comes out with a movie. For instance, do I see Christian Bale now and think Christian Bale is Batman, that he dresses up at night and go save people in Gotham City? No. That's what the media is about. So for you to see something on there and then get emotionally attached to it so much that you want to fight someone over the phone sounds crazy.
People also are fucking super attached to like celebrities, stars. Like, And that's the thing is like, dude, these celebrities and these stars that come out with these motives and these things that they're believing in and that they're following is like, dude, half of that shit, they don't even actually know what they're talking about or what they're believing in. They're just doing it because they're getting paid to, because it's a face and it controls society. If your favorite singer, songwriter is over here saying that this and this and this is true and you should believe in this, you should do that.
Yeah.
Then obviously that's what everybody that supports them is going to fucking do, because they believe that they got to believe what they believe in.
Hollywood is another power trip. To be honest, the kind of amount of power Hollywood has over some
like
people,
up there.
It's up there. It is crazy that people get plastic surgery just because their favorite act or their favorite celebrity that they're a fan of does it too. They think it's okay, because when some people somehow think if celebrities do it, meaning it's okay to actually do it right here, forgetting that these people actually have image consultant. They have people who are in charge of their image. The stuff they put out there is stuff they want you to see. You could sit out there and think that you could argue it all day because like you kind of know what's going on, like the Tory Lanez situation. It's just crazy. People go online and argue all day about it. Some are in support of Meg Thee Stallion, someone in support of Tory Lanez, and I'm just like, you all don't fucking know these people. You don't know what happened. You were never in that bus. Everything everybody says is their own narrative. Meg could come out here. Is she gonna fucking talk down on herself, or is Tory Lanez gonna come out here and say something bad about himself? No, because they have an image to protect. You don't, so you don't really know what's going on, and you don't have the amount of money and clout that these people play with. So for you to actually act like you actually understand what's going on in their life and their situation, and even want to get so emotionally involved in it to argue about it, it tells you about what you have going on. Because I'll tell you, people who actually are chasing purpose, who have a lot of things they're looking forward to in life, they don't care about that bullshit. You know what they care about? Creating their own reality, because that's what those people are doing. It's like you leaving your own house to go sweep another person's house. That's crazy to me. That's what I'm saying. Like your lawn is all grown out here, but you decide to take your lawnmower and go to your neighbor's house to go clear its grass. That's exactly what you're doing when you care about so much about what other people's got going on, to the point where you want to fight over it.
Dana White said this generation coming up is like our generation, my generation, and like a little bit younger, is like, if you fucking just be that 1% that works hard and focuses on yourself, that you're gonna just lap these fools, man. Because we're becoming so soft as a society. Everybody's soft. Everybody's a fucking emotional. Everybody's got ties to shit that they got nothing to do with or know anything about. And they spend too much time focusing on that shit and fucking the downward spiral that kind of shit brings you down mentally, and mental health and all that kind of shit, man. It's just, he's like, you just fucking work hard, put your nose down, and do shit the way his grandfather did it. You're gonna be really up there with compared to everybody else in society, just because everybody's just on the wrong fucking path of focusing on shit that does not fucking matter, man.
The fact that people even get on, I'm not, and before I say this, I'm not hating on motivational speakers and stuff, but the fact that people even make money out of motivating people even tells you where we're at. Like, you really need motivation to do stuff that you figure out is great for you. Like, this is your life, this is what you want to do, this is your life purpose and stuff. The fact that you need someone to motivate you every now and then tells us where we're at. Back in the day, you didn't need motivation. You know, if you ain't going out, you ain't hunting, you ain't eating, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, that is straight up. Like, if you know you're not gonna leave your hut to go hunt, you're 100% guaranteed that you're not gonna eat. So somehow, I think if we get back to that mindset and realize that you don't need to be motivated, you just need to find stuff that keeps you up. For motivation speaking, it works for some people, so I'll say use that, lean onto it. But the point I'm trying to make is you cannot continue to romance your problems. Nobody is special. We all have a lot of shit going on. Contrary to popular opinion, some people look like they got it together. Nobody does. We're all trying to figure it out.
It will go that way. It's study shows, man, when everything goes so far right or so far left, it eventually goes back the other direction. You know, it'll happen. Like, I'm a huge firm believer in, like, with all this shit in 2023 and fucking all these problems that we're creating that don't even need to be existing. I'm a huge believer, dude. Just fucking be you. Do what you want. If you want to fucking believe, if you want to believe whatever you want to believe, that's fine. If you want to fucking change your gender, you believe you're a fucking a girl and you're a guy, or if you're a girl, you think you're a guy, whatever. You do you. stay in your own world, your own lane, do you, focus on you, and don't bring that shit and wear that shit on and put that shit on other people and tell them they got to be like that because you are, and that they're wrong for not believing what you believe in. Like
Yes.
religion, whatever the fuck it is, you believe in what you believe in. It's your life. Live it how you want to fucking live it. If anybody else tries to tell you to do otherwise, then fuck them, dude. Honestly.
Yep. I think it's
Stop trying to do shit for clout.
Yes, I think it's the whole point of getting to the point where you no longer need people to like you. You don't necessarily need that. That's something that I learned, and it has saved me a bunch of headache over time. Like, you don't need people to like you. You don't need people to accept what you're doing. You eventually would, if you keep doing what you're doing diligently, eventually people who would be like-minded would gravitate towards you. Someone said it the best. I think it was Picasso. Yeah, Picasso. I think it was Picasso who said it, that if you like 100% no, it was Carl Jung. Yeah, Carl Jung was a psychologist and a writer also. He said if you do your work diligently long enough, your work will make the friends that you need for you.
Very true.
And so
true.
if people stop focusing on how people feel about what they do rather than focus on how they feel about what they do, it will make a whole bunch of difference. Like, for instance, the art that people who make art. I'm an artist, so I this is something that I could relate to. I've seen musicians over years who make things because of the popularity demand of it. They always fade out, and eventually it just becomes overly mundane and boring. But people who make art because of how they want to make the art, how they see their vision, you tend to always see the originality in it, even though there's really no difference in what everyone is trying to do artistically. We're all trying to copy each other. There's no original idea. Everybody copies each other somehow. That's how we find ourselves in this whole world paradox. So artists who do stuff not for popularity demand, who do stuff because it's genuinely how they feel, this is what they want to put out there, you could tell, and that goes a long way. People respect that over you trying to do stuff because everybody likes it. So the point is, if you do stuff based on what people think, you're going to run dry, and eventually you're going to run yourself into the wall. I've seen that happen to a lot of people. I've lost a friend to, like, for instance, suicide, and the reason why was he was doing stuff just to make sure he was cool in the eyes of people, and that will run you mad, to be honest. You cannot keep up with people because there's no way you could tell what anybody's thinking. You can't even tell who's going to kill you or who has an intention to actually love you. You just trust your intuition because of how a person is showing you how they are. But, like, Taylor was talking about the other day, people have different sides to them. There's the side they show you and the side they don't show you. And there's a side that's so secret that they will take to their grave. So you really don't know what
That's
anybody...
a CIA thing.
Yep.
CIA teaches everybody. Everybody's got 3 lives. All right? Who you show to the people, who's your surface, that's your life. What you do to, like, your close circle of people, like or like you kind of like congregate between
your little cult,
your little circle, right? And there's your darkest, deepest secrets, that life, the life of shit that you don't want nobody to know about.
That you take to the grave.
Everybody has those 3.
Yep. So
if you don't, you're a fucking weirdo. All right, you're lame. Get into some shit. All right.
You have to have something that you take.
Yeah, get into some shit, dude. You're living a boring ass life.
Yep. There has to be some things that's personal. Like, you can't share everything with the world. I mean, I think social media is where people think that you have to somehow be vulnerable to the point where you just share all your problems. That's kind of, I can't deal with it. Personally, I don't really need people sharing their problems all the time. But at the same time, nobody really is happy 100%. So when you see people on social media happy all the time, that's still not how life works. You gotta really get out of the media, turn down the noise, and live real life, and understand that every emotion that comes at you, every point in life, is something that is part of your story and not the life working against you. Because that's a mindset that really kills a lot of dreams, that you think everything happening is because the universe, somehow you are so unlucky, somehow it's so you're just the one with these big problems, and why is life happening to you? But to be honest, life happens to us all. So when some people try to make, like, their problem a big deal, like, I think that's the thing where we talk about society being soft. People try to make their problem look like it's just this special need problem that people need to pay attention to and cater to because it's happening to them so much that you have to see it and see their pain. I'll tell you the truth. At this stage in time with the economy, the way everything is positioned. I've talked to people who are really rich, and even my boss, for instance, Brandon Brittingham, who sells high ticket real estate. He was talking about it the other day that even his friends in high places, every one of them is getting hit somehow by the way the world is getting run right now, being on fire, the economy, things are bad. Everything is becoming expensive. Everybody has had to cut costs. The rich, the poor, everybody's crying. So I don't think whatever problems anyone is going through right now should be something where they so hyper focus on it that it becomes the identity. I think we're all here to find solutions to this big problem that we find ourselves in. So it would rather we change our mindset from it's happening to me to there are lessons to learn out of this and how do I proceed so I make it easier for myself and the next man.
Facts. Straight facts. I think we should I'm gonna wind this episode down. All right. It's I want it short, sweet. Got a little fucking talk about sugar, talk about the world that's going on right now around us. Lots of other shit to talk about, but we're looking forward to having our guest on here soon.
We're bringing the business moguls in.
Yeah, it's gonna be some good episodes coming in. So make sure you guys stay tuned for those. I can't wait for those. It's just got some really good stories, good lives. They're gonna be on here talking some great shit, some great knowledge, some great wisdom for all of you.
Yep, and we're working on the merch. We should have a design set by the second week of next month, and we'll be ready to drop that out there. It's really cool. The reason it's taking time because we really have to put a lot of details into it, and because by the time we drop, we want to keep that consistency on merch. We want to put a lot of cool merch out there, not just something that's just due to the branding of the podcast, but something you could actually wear to parties and people say, yeah, that's cool. Wherever you got that from, I like it. So that's the kind of merch we want to put out there. So we're working on it.
We're up to some good shit. I'm gonna start doing some also other shit for the podcast, or not for the podcast, for our brand itself, Punch Drunk. So looking forward to that. Since you opened the show with your this time and you did your thing, I'll close the show with some motivation since I never do that. That's your thing. We'll switch it up today.
All right.
But yeah, so man, really, what I've noticed lately is just like we talked about in this episode. Everybody's so focused on not being themselves and not being true to themselves and following other people's paths and listening to all the outside shit. And dude, focus on your fucking self. You know what I mean?
Slow down.
Set goals. Achieve those goals. Work hard for those goals. Do what you want to do. Don't do what your fucking parents tell you to do, what other people tell you to do. Be yourself. Do what you fucking love. If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I swear to God. And focus on making a life out of what you love. No matter what it is, you can find a way to make a life out of what you love. All right. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. No matter what the fuck it is. If you like collecting butterflies, painting pictures, or fighting people in a fucking cage, you can make money and succeed and take care of your family and do great things doing what you love. And that's an inspiration to people, is doing what you love and being raw, being pure, and staying true to yourself and never get off that path.
Amen. All right.
Juice, thank you. It's been a great one. Thank you for our new fucking song. That shit's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's it for today's episode, guys.
Yep.